But so now that our gear is kind of popped into place and we got our shaft down in there, and you can see how the threads are sticking through, now we have to get that nut on. I smile because it's never easy. If it was easy, anybody would do it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my magnet and I'm going to clean all the little metal filings off of it before I go stick it in my gearbox. Shouldn't say my gearbox, Rick's gearbox. You wouldn't be very happy. All right. Now all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my nut here and I'm going to put it on my magnet. Another little filing on there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this into place, get it close. My magnet wants to touch everything metal, right? So now I'm going to get it right up against where those threads are. Now what I'm going to do is lift up. Be nice if I had a headlight. I never liked the headlights though. I'm going to lift up my shaft just enough to slip the nut underneath it. And then push the shaft down so it's pinching it. All right. So now I'll show you where I'm at right now so you can see. You can see I just have the nut just right there. So the shaft is kind of behind it. It's not in all the way, but I kind of have it pinched in there with the drive shaft right now. So what I'll do now is I could put the magnet on it. But I'll probably take put my magnet away so it doesn't get more filings on it. Again, I'm not going to clean these tools off because I used them to take everything apart. Just don't want any debris in there, you know. And I'm going to grab that nut with these pliers, and just to hold it in place. Now I probably could have slipped it in there with these too, but I want to hold it in place as I line up my shaft here. Okay, now I have the nut and I'm turning my drive shaft. So I have it centered now. And now I can just turn my drive shaft and it catches the first couple threads. Now I can get my wrench in there that we used before, my nice flat wrench. Clean it off too. And we'll hold it and we'll tighten it up. Feels like it might be cross-threading a little bit. Doesn't appear so, but just in case, I'm going to take it back out. I know that's counteractive, counterintuitive, something like that, counterproductive. And I'm going to go ahead and take it back out, and I'm going to thread the nut on the shaft. Guess I'm going to get my pipe wrench to do this. Maybe a pair of channel locks would be good enough. Definitely get the pipe wrench when it's time to tighten it up. Okay, loosen that up. I'm going to take that nut back out. Grab it with the magnet, pull it up. I want to be sure that I don't have buggered up threads. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my needle nose and slip them in there under that gear so that gear stays in place. We'll pick this up. Let's just thread this on here. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Yeah, it's kind of stopping. Appears to be the right threads. Maybe it just has a burr on it. Definitely don't want to cross thread it. You know what? We're going to look at the old nut we took off first and see. I can't believe it's a different thread. Always good to test first. Didn't like the way it was threading on there. Found a little burr on the inside of those threads because I took the old shaft, right, the one that we couldn't use, and tried to thread it on. You know, we're having issues with that. Cleaned it up a little bit, give it a little more pressure, and then it went on. Just had a little burr on it, and now we can go ahead and tighten it up. Get the pipe wrench for that. So I have my wrench inside here, or not yet. I have it lined up. Get my wrench inside here. We'll go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and tilt this up right now because it's flopping around. Don't have it really in there really well. Now that we got everything in where it needs to go, using a little gravity to help me out. I can feel the threads are that little burr I got off of there, so it's just tightening it up. Maybe that'll help hold it. See, now I know I'm good. Give it a little extra. Oh, sorry, wrench fell off. Now a little drop of Loctite wouldn't hurt. Really never had a problem, but I use the blue Loctite just in case. It's just something that I've done for years. I've never really liked using red unless I never want it to come apart again because it can be a pain. All right, so we got our gear in. Works nicely. We could shift a little bit if we want to, but we're not going to play too much with it. Now I'm going to tilt it back again. And now we're going to look at our next gear that has to go in place. And we are missing a piece here. Spacer goes on here. Left it in the other shed where I was storing these. So it's always good to keep everything all together. I had this all in a big plastic bag with lube in it, and this was left in there. So we make sure this goes on here. We make sure everything's clean here. So now we can put this gear in. Now, keep in mind, when this goes together, right, it's going in here like this. So we have lube on the bearings. We have a little lube on all of this. And we're going to slip this gear into place. And it drops right in where it needs to go. Looks like it's in gear. We can shift back and forth. Now neutral. So that's nice. Making sure everything looks good. Now there is a plate here. If I take my clean rag off. So we take the cleanest of the plates. Now notice there's a hole in this, and that hole is down in the bottom. I know that for sure because that's the way it came out, and the numbers go on the top. Because we want a little bit of oil to be able to splash through and get through here. So I'm just going to put it in place, and then I can put our two snap rings in. I'm going to line it up as straight as I can. We are still able to move that a little bit because remember, when we put our bearing carrier in, we have 4 bolts that go through here. Now there's little seals on each one of those as well. So we're going to get new seals in the kit. When we get the kit, the seals go on the bolts here. I just picked the cleanest bolts because they're less work for me to clean. And now we can get our snap rings in. So same way they came out, we're going to pop them back in. Pretty straightforward. Now there's 2 places, 2 slots. I want to go to the back one first, obviously. So I have to squeeze this pretty hard. Get my flashlight in there. Test the strength of my left hand. You don't have to be that strong. Right, so now we get the next one in. Now that one's in place. So now we can make sure everything functions, right? I can turn, I can shift both ways. I can have neutral, right? I can shift up into reverse and forward and neutral, right? So now I can make sure everything functions the way it's supposed to. I know everything is clean. Now what I'm going to do is, I have a little oil in the bottom there, so I'm going to take a little brake clean now, and I'm going to spray it in here because I want the surfaces where these O-rings sit to be nice and dry and clean. So I'm going to leave it tilted back like this. I'm going to go ahead and take my shift rod out because we don't need that to be in anymore. So all of our surfaces are clean and everything's ready to go now. It's really just reassembly. I'm going to use my lube and we're going to put new seals in here. Got to order a seal kit next, so that'll be the next episode. I'll have to get online, probably Boats.net. Maybe I'll see. I probably can't get Pro Marine anymore. They're probably closed on Saturday. I like using Pro Marine, but I also like the convenience of ordering online and have it and be done with it all in one shot. But it is nice to have somebody at Pro Marine to talk to when you're having an issue and you're ordering a part. They got a lot of good advice there. So, that being said, please like, subscribe, send me any comments that you have, and we will get the seals in and get this back together for Rick. Hopefully we'll get them by the end of the week. Those seal kits are usually still available, and we'll show you how the rest of this goes together, fill it up with some oil, and get Rick out on the water. Have a great day.